So, we just got back from dinner a little while ago. We went out with some friends, and everybody's stuffed and sleeping on the couch, and all in the chairs. So, I decided that I'm going to do a video because I have something on my mind, as I always do, but, I was thumbing through Facebook, and I noticed that these sponsored ads, they keep coming up with all these different things, life coaching and, how to do this and how to do that. Most of them have to do with starting your own business, starting your own blog site, affiliate marketing, kind of how to start your own hustle from home. And tomorrow I'm going to work. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I am disabled. I think I did mention that. And I left a situation where there was domestic violence. And so for the longest time, I just kind of sat around. Well, I shouldn't say sat around. I guess I went in and out of feeling sorry for myself, or mostly just thinking that I can't. I spent a lot of time just thinking that I can't. And even though I do have chronic pain, my legs are always in pain, I rarely have a second of my life that I don't feel some kind of pain or stiffness. I have inflammation. And so I'm seeing all these things, about blogging and about how to get be a life coach and how to do like nutrition. And that's the kind of thing that I really have a passion for. That's why I'm doing this. I started writing a long time ago, and all my writings are just scattered everywhere. I think I found 242 pages of manuscript a few years ago of my writings. And it's all stuff like this. It's just that I never put it out there. I would write it, and then I would put it on like Google Keep or Word or something like that, or in a journal, and then I would just never share it. Some of the things I shared on Facebook, but it's not like I was getting anything, any money for it or anything like that. And it kind of boggles me how people are actually making a living. I have a girlfriend who wrote a book, and now she's doing some artwork and putting it in galleries. I heard that people I do photography, and people put them on postcards and like sell them. I mean, all these little creative ways to make money from home. Whether or not it could ever be a full-time income, I mean, I'm sure it could. There are people out there that are doing it every day. But I'm not here to talk about the how-tos of, making money, blogging and doing affiliate marketing and that kind of thing. I still haven't gotten into that yet. I haven't really learned that yet. And at some point, maybe I will. But this video is just to share in real time my paralysis. And I don't know if anybody else out there is in kind of in the midst of that, where you have creative ideas, that people are doing things out there, whether it's, baking or sewing or whatever creative talent you have, writing, music, so many things that people can do. And there's so many things that people are doing these days, and making some good income doing it, which I think is really cool. But there's this paralysis. It's the can't get started thing, where I have all these ideas I really want to share. I don't know if anybody else out there who's listening or watching has been through this or is going through this right now. But I do not have a big website thing going on. I don't have anything really to offer right now, except this, which is me sitting here in my creative paralysis, not being able to get started with something. It's been like 2 or 3 years that I've thought of doing this and haven't. So I guess I'm putting this out there because I'm not asking for people's email addresses right now. I'm not saying, hey, I have this to offer and I can show you how to do this, and join my email group or however it is they do it. They say like auto, whatever it's called, where they auto messages and that kind of thing. I don't even know how to do that at this point. That's why I'm putting this out there. I'm going to put this on YouTube because I am at the part of my journey where I haven't even gotten my feet off the ground. And I want to share this because I want to share the process of how I want to be able to say, this is how I got there from point A to point B all the way to point Z to where I'm making some money doing this. I'm determined. I'm determined that I'm going to do something, not only to share my talents and my knowledge with other people, but I also want to be able to have the freedom to do this at some point where I can travel and you know, I don't know if I'll ever be a speaker, but at least get something out there where I can be helpful, because I've learned so much. And there are a lot of people out there who have knowledge. It's not necessarily college knowledge, but just life skills, life knowledge, whatever it is you've been through. There's always somebody who can relate. There's always somebody who can identify with you. And I feel that it's really, really cool. I've actually joined a few. I've paid for some seminars. I've gone through a couple of boot camps, and I've really been enlightened by some of these people, and I'd like to be able to do the same thing. And so anyway, I'm putting this out there because I want to let everybody know that I am at ground zero. I'm not even at ground zero. I have writings and I have things, I have ideas, but I haven't implemented anything yet. So I'm looking into WordPress. I'm looking into, you know, a couple of different sites to get started. I'm looking at people who are posting, you know, little webinars, and, you know, send me your email address and I'll, you know, send. I have a book that I bought from someone. I've got all kinds of little, you know, things I'm doing to get other people's coaching into my life. And hopefully I'll learn how to do these things at some point. But on YouTube, as far as this site is concerned, nobody's paying for anything here. This is just me sharing because I want to. And, you know, maybe that's one of the reasons that I have paralysis with this whole thing, because a lot of the things I have to share are spiritual. I don't always share Christian things. I don't always talk about God or Jesus, but I do incorporate that into everything I do because he's part of my life, and you know, God has gotten me to where I am. I would have been nowhere if it hadn't been for him, and I've got a lot of stories to tell, a lot of things to share about that. But I hesitated for the longest time because I didn't want to monetize something Christian. And I'm seeing that that doesn't have to happen. I mean, you don't have to sell your Christianity. You don't have to ask for money to be able to encourage somebody. And that's what I'm doing here. You know, there are other peripheral things, you know, beyond preaching or sharing anything spiritual. There are things like nutrition that I've learned how to eliminate sugars and, you know, do things for my body to keep myself as healthy as possible and as pain-free as I can. I've learned about those things. I've learned about what goes on in your mind when you leave domestic violence and what can cause all kinds of depression and negative thoughts. I've learned all these things, and so those are things, you know, when there are healthy food supplements or superfoods or something that can be shared that I have found, I want to be able to share them, and that's what I'd like to eventually get started with. So this is the beginning. This is just me putting something out there, letting everybody know that I have ideas and I want to get something started. I know a lot of people out there are right where I am right now. So if you want to follow along and see what I'm doing, it'll hold me accountable, because I'm planning to spend each and every night when I get home from work. I have a full-time job. I absolutely love my full-time job. I don't know if I ever really want to leave it because I love the company I'm working for. I love the people. I love the nature of the work, and I don't know if I'll ever really want to leave there. I might want to retire at 75. Who knows? But in the meantime, in my free time, I really want to get some things out there. And I'm going to get started. I am going to get started. So you hold me accountable. I'll hold you accountable. Like and subscribe. Follow along. I'm going to get this started. I know a lot of people who have. I know a lot of people who have tried and failed. And fear of failure is a thing. But I'm not going to let that stop me. And I hope you don't let it stop you either, because we all have something to share. We all have something that's of value. And, you know, and if you have something like that and you want to get started, I'm right here. If you're if you haven't started yet, we're in it together. So let's keep each other accountable, and keep following along with my videos or whatever, and we'll get through this and we'll learn it together. So have a good night. It's Sunday night here in Florida. Today was the end of daylight savings time, so I'm not real happy because it was like 6 o'clock and pitch black outside, darker than dark. Tomorrow I'm getting up and going to work, and every single time I make some progress, I'm going to let you know so that we can you can follow along with me and I can follow with you. Have a good evening, and I will see you soon.